Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here this morning. I'm from the city of Vancouver. I've been a two-term city councillor, and I share that because I do this work. It's an honor as president of FCM, but I do this work because I have such a love for local government. Everything that we do is in the interest of those that we serve, and we know that we are connected into our communities. We see our constituents in grocery stores, we see them in the parks, we see them in the arenas. They ask us the questions, sometimes things we can do and sometimes things that we can't do, but either way we listen and we feed that back up wherever we can to really make that difference. So I'm so passionate about local government in that we are the most trusted level of government. No disrespect to the territorial government in the room right now, but it's why it matters to have representation of local government at every level of government. So I just wanted to start there. I was very happy to join folks last night. Someone said, well, you're very brave for showing up to a banquet after dinner and whenever all the drinks have been flowing. I wasn't brave enough to go to the after party, mind you. But if I haven't met you yet, it's a real pleasure to be here, and I'll be here today, and I hope we'll get a chance to connect. And you have such a great champion in your president, Lauren Hanchar, who is also the chair of the Rural and Remote Northern Caucus at FCM and does great work there. And also just, yes, very good. And I am very honored to be here, so thank you for the invitation, Lauren. And also I see President of AB Munis made the trip, Tyler Gandam, who I'm sure you all met last night if you were out and about with folks, and of course past President Ted Lakin, who's a good friend, and I'm happy to be serving in the municipal space with everybody here. So I will get to my formal remarks now, and just to say, it is incredible to think that the federal election is only a few days away, and I don't know how you're all feeling, but I thought, what am I going to do that weekend before Monday? And I'm so glad to be here, looking at your beautiful mountains, distracted from all the things that are happening in a federal election space the weekend before Election Day. Can be quite busy, overwhelming, and just a constant sort of ruminating. So very happy to have the distraction of your beautiful scenery, your beautiful territory. It's my first time in the Yukon. It certainly won't be the last. And so very happy to be here. And so on Monday, we know that there'll be a new government forming, and we will be working with our newest federal government on the outcome of that election. The election, of course, has taken place during a pivotal moment for our country's history. We are wrestling with a multitude of challenges, such as a housing crisis, homelessness, escalating critical infrastructure needs, and climate resiliency, just to name a few. FCM has been listening to all of your concerns. We know all too well the difficulties that your communities have been facing, and that is why we are fighting for you at the federal level, ensuring your northern perspectives and priorities are heard loud and clear so that your communities receive the resources they need to get through these storms. And I do note, not a fan of the name, Minister, but Canada Community Building Fund is a proud fund that FCM has been championing. We are happy just recently to have significant investment into that fund. It has gone through an iteration of being called the gas tax, but of course that doesn't play very well in these days. So we went with Canada Community Building Fund, but what matters is it actually gets funds directly to municipalities that are unrestricted, and it allows you to invest in your communities the way that you know you need to, based on what is relevant to your communities. And so it's a national fund, but it's very local to what it is that you require. So we continue to champion the CCBF, as we like to call it. So now we have another storm brewing, and that is the biggest storm we have faced in recent months, the tariff dispute with the United States and its impact on our country. And I know that your proximity with Alaska is a daily reminder of that tense situation. Yukon's local businesses and key sectors are directly and indirectly feeling the impact of this unjust trade war. For example, the mining industry, particularly for silver and zinc, is experiencing firsthand the impact of U.S. tariffs, and even smaller exporters and consumers face increased expenses and financial instability. Similarly, the need to underline and strengthen our Arctic sovereignty is clearer than ever. As I mentioned before, we at FCM have heard about the pressures Yukon communities have faced throughout this trade war, and we have taken action. We have already led 5 delegations to engage with municipal associations south of the border. We have also met with municipal members from Alaska who spoke about their critical relationships with northern Canada, especially the Yukon. And just 3 weeks ago, I joined a delegation of mayors from across Canada at the high-profile U.S. Conference of Mayors Trilateral Summit, which included mayors from both Mexico and Canada and also the U.S. We secured major media attention at home and in the U.S., the CNN, the CBC, of course, and beyond. So all of these meetings, we have brought forward your perspective and your concerns and encouraged U.S. local leaders to communicate these consequences to their senators and congressional representatives, and it has been impactful. If you follow on social media, U.S. Conference of Mayors, they're starting to speak out in numbers, many numbers, and that's not an easy thing to do if you're a U.S. mayor. There has been punitive action taken for mayors that have spoken out, but it's that important to their communities as well, that they're able to express the economic impact in their communities in the U.S. that I think has come as a bit of a surprise, to be quite honest, when these tariffs were first announced and we were first meeting with our counterparts in the U.S., but that groundswell is growing more and more and more. So, meanwhile, back on Canadian soil, we've been engaged in a federal election, of course, across orders of government. We face a vital choice. And that choice is, do we keep trying to roll with the punches in crisis situations, or do we invest in what makes Canada strong and more resilient in the long term? The answer starts in our communities. Our communities, our municipalities are the engines of Canada's economy. So FCM is keenly aware of the real challenges facing northern communities, from infrastructure, the impacts of climate change, connectivity issues, public safety, and housing. During and especially after this federal election, we remain committed to advocating for the resources that your local governments need to strengthen the resilience of the Yukon. This includes calling for an investment of at least $500 million annually for 10 years in new funding for core, rural, and northern infrastructure. And not only that, but we are prioritizing adaptation efforts. This is essential to protecting our communities from increasing climate risks. FCM has asked that the Disaster Mitigation and Adaptation Fund should be immediately topped up by $2 billion with an additional $1 billion added annually for the next 10 years. For every dollar spent on climate adaptation, $13 to $15 are saved in economy-wide benefits. This is a clear indication that the renewal of these federal investments needs to remain a priority. And for Canadians to connect together and businesses to thrive, we also need to continue to advocate for 100% cellular and broadband connectivity by calling for a needs-based stream in the Universal Broadband Fund. And we know just how vital on-the-ground policing and emergency services are to communities in the Yukon. Many northern areas don't have enough police resources, and vacancies strain the system. Poor internet and cell service make it hard to access emergency services such as 911, the RCMP, and mental health supports. And that's why we are advocating for optimal RCMP staffing levels that address officer burnout and ensuring that municipalities have the support they need to maintain public safety. And lastly, we know housing needs vary across northern areas, and communities are working hard to add more options and address homelessness. That's why we're bringing forward concrete solutions, not only the idea of building more new homes, but also the idea of using prefabricated housing. Federal support for this particular area can help address housing shortages and create more affordable options for your communities. So to meet all those needs and to ensure a long-term economic growth, FCM is asking for a national prosperity partnership in which all orders of government come together to advance municipal fiscal reform. We need to make our nation more economically resilient so Canadians can look forward to the future with confidence, a future that includes strong northern municipalities that strengthen Arctic sovereignty and security. So even with the election coming to a close on Monday, the work doesn't stop. In the following weeks, FCM is committed to continuing these important conversations with the newly elected government, and that is why we have also begun work on a Future of Northern Canada report. We look forward to collaborating with you on this important document, one that I think will be vital as we continue amplifying your voices and raising your concerns to the federal government. Now, all of your pressing municipal issues, as well as FCM's plan for long-term economic growth and prosperity for your communities, will be at the heart of FCM's annual conference. So I invite you to join me May 29th to June 1st in our nation's capital, so that together we can discuss these important topics and find concrete, sustainable solutions for the people we serve. Let's continue to focus on your priorities, on building up our northern economies and Arctic sovereignty, because we are always stronger together. Thank you very much. Merci.